What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Finally, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be, here again doing another movie review. I enjoy these. Today's movie review, over the weekend, I actually watched Zack Snyder's new movie called Army of the Dead, and I thought I'll do a review on it because it's very new, and there's a lot of hype surrounding this movie. And I thought I'd just give my honest opinion and tell you guys what I thought. So let's do this. All right, so first of all, I am a big Snyder fan. I mean, I enjoyed 300, both of them. I enjoyed most of the movies that he's directed. He's a great director. I think the Snyder cut of Justice League was just an amazing movie. I really thought it did justice to what they wanted to do with the franchise and everything. That being said, going into a movie that you pretty much know is gonna be a blood, guts, and ass-kicking zombie movie, I kind of expected a certain trend with the movie. And as the movie started, I quickly noticed that there was a big plan with this story. It's more complex than your usual zombie movie, There's a lot of things that were incorporated into this movie that I thought were actually kind of ingenious. But the movie also has some huge flaws coming with all of that stuff. But for what it was okay. It was enjoyable enough to say. I mean, it's 2 hours and 28 minutes. That's a long time actually for a zombie movie, but it doesn't feel that long as soon as the movie, starts progressing towards where it's supposed to go. And Dave Batista as the lead character was actually pretty cool. He was good in this movie. I actually enjoyed his acting quite a lot. And the rest of the cast, they were all well chosen for the specific parts that they had to play. And as the movie progresses further and it gets more in depth into the story, you quickly realize that these aren't your average garden variety zombies. They are actually way more advanced, way more capable than, for instance, the Walking Dead zombies. So, it was cool seeing that new aspect, but there was also a lot of things in the movie that you kind of sit there and you think to yourself, okay, this doesn't really make sense. And it happens way too much in the span of the movie that it ends up you have more questions at the end of the movie than you kind of just had to sit there and enjoy the movie, and that is not cool. I like to, at the end of the movie, there's a conclusion, there's something that happened that, you feel, okay, this, I can accept this was nice, and it's the end of the film, But this one, it's got a really crappy ending. That's all I'm gonna say. To rate the movie as a whole, let's break it down, and then I'll tell you guys. For the directing, Zack Snyder, very good director, very good writer because he wrote this as well. But I think even the guys that make brilliant movies and write brilliant scripts sometimes do a mediocre job. And this was one of those projects. It really failed for me on a lot of levels, and the story kind of falls flat at some points. And you kind of feel just like, okay, but what does this mean? This doesn't make sense. And if you see a movie like that, and if you watch a movie like that, it really feels like the movie is trying to waste your time. And then it's like, you know what? I don't even care anymore kind of vibes. So I think for the directing, give it a 6, because it was well done, but I think it could have been better. The reason that I give it a 6 as well is A lot of the CGI in this movie coming from the director that it came from, with the type of budgets that he has, it kind of sucked at some points. I mean, there's some CGI in this movie that's like, you know what? Um, okay, that's the best they could do. Seriously, that's how it feels, and I didn't like it. I like it when a movie, especially when it's a big blockbuster hit supposed to be, everything needs to be on point, and not everything was on point. So yeah, I think the directing 6 out of 10. When it comes to the acting in the movie, I thought that Batista was, like I said earlier, he was really good. Him being the main focus in this movie, and as well as all the other actors, they did their jobs pretty well. I mean, the humor characters were on point. The more serious characters, good job from them, and I think all around the acting was actually possibly the best part of this movie. So I think I'll give the acting a strong 7 out of 10 because they did a good job. It really wasn't that bad. Um, when it comes to the story, there are a lot of things in this movie that you question. Whether it being if it's on point as a zombie type of movie, some of the things that happen, or whether it's just questions about the characters, about where the story is supposed to go, about where the the next thing is gonna. It's there's a lot of things in this movie that's questioned, and because at the end of the movie, you kind of feel like you have more questions than you have answers. I think that is a writing problem. If it was written better and it actually took the audience in a direction of what they wanted to do, I would say, I'd give it a higher rating. But the movie being what it is and the questions that I have after watching it, I can't rate the story more than, and I'm being generous here, 6 out of 10 because, there's way too much questions at the end of this movie. And it's a really it's a really crappy process to sit through a 2 hour and 28-minute movie and then kind of feel, okay, but is there going to be a sequel? Is there going to be something that shows us, the questions that we had? Are they going to be answered? And the crappy thing is, there really isn't much room for a sequel unless they really pull something out of their asses. But it's kind of a standalone movie, and like I said, it's really frustrating, this movie, at the end of the day. Um, when it comes to like the violence and gore and stuff, I honestly feel that The Walking Dead as a show is way gorier than this movie. It really wasn't that gross and that bloody for me personally. So as a zombie movie, I'd say it's pretty standard. Maybe even a bit understanded when it comes to the gore effect and stuff, but still not bad. But yeah, the zombies, on the other hand, the way that these zombies were written, that was actually pretty cool. I'm not going to say anything more than that. For those that haven't seen the movie yet, if you watch the movie and you kind of hear what these zombies are compared to others, it's actually pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. That was a nice twist that I actually did enjoy quite a lot. But the story kind of screws that up for you. But if you guys are fans of Zack Snyder, if you guys enjoyed his other movies and his writing and directing style, you probably will enjoy this movie for what it is. But at the end of the day, probably have the same questions that I have, as the movie concludes. But that's for you guys to decide if you like it or not. If you guys have seen the movie, please let me know in the comments what your thoughts on the movie were. I'd like to hear that. If you haven't seen it and you are going to see it after watching it, let me know what you thought. Because this is just my opinion. This is just what I think about the movie. So don't go into it biased or anything. Watch it and conclude your own conclusion at the end of this movie. If you guys want to go follow my social media links, I really appreciate that. I post a lot of stuff on there. I've started a new kind of superhero thing again on TikTok, and I might do more of them because, I'm actually quite starting to enjoy the stuff that I'm doing on there. And I'll see you guys again maybe next week, maybe the week after with another video. And I hope you guys have an awesome week. Peace.